right?
Yes, sir.
So have you suffered this kind of racist behavior or comments from people in your neighborhood? Manipur has been in trouble for quite some time.
Yes, yes.
Why is it so?
So you are a student of development studies at TIS, Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So what projects you have done there?
You just mentioned that autonomous district councils is not working for last 10 years. What are these autonomous district councils? Under which provision of the constitution?
Sir,
You tell me what is happening in Myanmar? What is the latest position in Myanmar?
What do you think? What do you read the situation in Ladakh as which led to the arrest of one activist, Sonam Wangchuk?
Yes, please come, please come. Please sit down. Mr. Valnam.
yes, sir.
Yeah. You are from Manipur
Yes, sir.
and you have been living in Dilsad Garden, Delhi for some time. Okay. It's a sensitive question, but still I want to ask. There is a general perception that the people from northeastern parts of our country have to suffer some degree of racism in Delhi.
Yes, sir.
And Dilsad Garden is not a particularly enlightened locality,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
So have you suffered this kind of racist behavior or comments from people in your neighborhood?
Sir, I live for around 2 years now in Dilsad Garden, but till now I didn't face that kind of racism or kind of discrimination in that sense.
No slurs, nothing.
No, sir.
Very good, wonderful. And you come from Manipur.
Yes, sir.
Manipur has been in trouble for quite some time.
Yes.
Why is it so? Can you give me, I mean everybody knows about through the newspapers, but can you give me some insight that why it has been so long in trouble, constant violence and kind of indifference from the ruling parties from in center as well as in the state, and constant polarization and killings going on? What exactly is the issue?
Sir, in the public, as well, mostly in the public as well in the newspaper, the main problem is because of the High Court judgment. But it's way beyond that. There are various factors that are playing in that problems in the conflicts. For example, one main problem is the political issues. For example, in the hill areas, the ADC is not functioning for around 10 years now. So there is a problem of representation. And secondly, there is a problem of development, uneven development. Majority of the development projects, infrastructure, goes to the few districts. And some districts, especially in the hills, have affected that. So there is a kind of problems in that sense. As well as the land distribution the population distribution is so unequal. For example, in Manipur, 90% is in the hill areas, 10% is in the valleys. But when we look at the population, around more than 50% is in the hill areas. So there is population differences. So it plays a role in this, sir. And the third is the international boundary. For example, it's with Myanmar, which is very porous border. So there is a problem of infiltration, illegal migration, and all that. So it also plays a role, sir.
So do you hope that the problem will be solved in near future, or we have to live with this kind of violence and insurgency for some time to come?
Sir, the problems just now we see that because of the president rule as well as security situation, the violence is coming down. So I don't see that the violence will be continuing for so long. But for addressing the real problems, we need a long-term solution. For example, how can we safeguard the international borders? How can we safeguard the interests of both the various communities? So we need to look at that, sir.
Okay, all right, sir.
Valunam, what is your first name? Valunam or Liangousang?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, which is your region? Your tribe that
Sir, I'm from Churachandpur.
Churachandpur I have seen.
Yes, sir.
I have gone from Kohima to Imphal, traveled many times. So I know Churachandpur. So you have told ki your your father in the agriculture.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But what land is there?
Sir, for my fathers, for us, it's the shifting cultivation in agriculture. Yes, sir.
So, Zoom.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Zoom. What is Zoom farming?
Zoom farming is every year we need to change the farming, and every year we need to cut down the trees, and we need to burn, and only we have one seasonal cropping system.
Why don't you use these chemical fertilizers and pesticides and PGRs and all those things?
Sir, is the one of the main thing is that in Zoom cultivation is hilly areas. So even if we use fertilizer and all that, a majority of the fertilizers will be brought down by the
Spray,
water, sir.
spray
Yeah, spray.
by leaves.
Yeah, spray will be possible, but maybe because of the traditional system that we follow, so we go for organic system, sir.
So that is one thing. Second, there is some agreement between Myanmar and India that the tribes can move, people living along the boundary can move 16 kilometers here and there. So how can you stop infiltration unless this is revised or something?
Sir, even from last year, the Home Ministry has said that this free movements would be stopped. So the movement has been more controlled. And secondly, they started building fencing, border fencing between Manipur and Myanmar borders.
So there are certain gates because same tribe living here, same tribe living there, so they have to move their marriages, relations. So what is the solution to
So
that?
I think the best solution will be we need to improve the security, as well as secondly we need registration system so that we can have whether people, what kind of people are coming in, can we give entry to that. So a registration system can.
So you are a student of development studies at TIS, Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So what projects you have done there?
Sir, during our studies, we go for field experiment, work. So we mostly go to the villages, Maharashtra villages, and we interact with the.
What project you have done? I want a specific project.
Sir, the project that I done is I went for field studies in Manipur. So I studied the Kinsey system as well as how it interact with the development or the progress of the village life, sir.
What is development and underdevelopment?
Sir, for me, the understanding is that underdevelopment is when development is I don't know how to explain, but for example, I can give some examples. The examples can be, for example, in Latin America, there is a problem of this, the ideas of this peripheral development. So they were not developed because of the capitalist system that are.
Burkina Faso
Yes,
example.
sir.
Anyway,
Yes,
China is what Deng Xiaoping followed 4 ways of modernization.
Sir, I can't recollect that one, sir. Sorry.
I thought you are from TIS, so you should have.
Yes, sir.
What is the history of Dilshad Garden?
Sir, I know very little about Dilshad Garden. Sorry, sir.
Okay. So, in what way this European Union deal with India will benefit India?
Sir,
Rather, it will have impact on India. Impact is both, pros and cons both.
Sir, the agreement will improve our trade export, especially in the these traditional sectors like footwear industry, gems and jewelry and all that. But on the other hand, there is a question of this climate CBM. So there is a question how to solve that one. For example, our steel and aluminum export can be affected. But speaking overall, I think it will improve the economic of our country, sir.
Tell me one thing, like there is no ban on slaughter of any animal. because that is a basic staple diet. So in South India, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Kerala, they are the biggest exporter of leather goods. Why can't our Manipur or other places in the east can become the exporter of leather goods or meat that way? Why there are no factories?
Sir, one thing is we there is no ideas of in the this big export system in Manipur. As for example, the state as well as the local governments is not promoting this kind of.
You have got airport, you have got plain land in the valley. So if you increase the employment, all the discontent will go. That is a long-term solution. What else?
Sir, I think we need to promote that kind of industry, sir.
Okay. You just mentioned that autonomous district councils is not working for last 10 years. What are these autonomous district councils? Under which provision of the constitution?
Sir, in the notice, the Autonomous District Council is under 6th schedule in Article 244 under the Constitution.
So what powers do they have?
Sir, they have most powers like legislative powers as well as administrative as well as judiciary. For example, the ADC can have some kind of local traditional judiciary system, sir.
There is a perception that drug cultivation is also one of the issues of Manipur problem. So what is that?
Sir, is the cultivation of poppy, the products of opium that is prevalent in Manipur. So that is one of the problems. And one of the argument is that it disrupt the environment, for example, the forest areas, as well as the drug abuse is increasing. So it is one of the problems here.
One of the, because of the, for the dispute also,
Yes, sir.
the current ongoing dispute.
Yes, sir.
Who controls the drug cultivation now?
Sir, I don't know who controls, but when we look at the reality, is mostly the farmers that they are just contracted to farm, and people in the public, we don't know who is the real cultivator, who is the real capital, who is using that opium, sir.
Okay. Who's guarding this Myanmar border, Manipur Myanmar border?
Sir, is guarded by the Assam Rifles.
Assam Rifles. So these are the people generally from the northeast.
Yes.
So the guarding should be effective.
Sir, it's more effective, plus they have more understanding of the local community, the local system, so it's more effective, sir.
Okay. Now just share one good governance from Manipur. Like this is some good governance in Manipur which is taking place now.
Sir, one of the good governance I can tell about is the empowerment of the women in Manipur.
Okay, how? How it has been done?
Through, they give a lot of space for economic activities. For example, Meira Paibis in the Manipur Valley, even in hill areas, there is a kind of this women's market. So they run the economy, the local economy, sir. So it's one of the best governance system that we see, sir.
But do men don't work there?
Men works mostly in the labor in terms of this construction works and all that, sir.
Okay, that's interesting. And what's the problem between Nagaland and Manipur?
Sir, the main problem is the Naga issues. For example, the Nagas want Greater Nagaland. So Manipur don't want that the disintegration of the territory of Manipur. So there is a problem with that, sir.
So it's now it's any talk going on or something?
Sir, the talk is going on, but from 1997 there is a ceasefire with NSC and IM. So it's still the process is still going, sir. Thank you, sir.
You mentioned this women empowerment and good governance.
Yes, sir.
But women empowerment or giving role of women in public life
Yes, sir.
has always been part of tribal society.
Yes, sir.
So what good governance has to do with it?
Sir, it's not about the traditional system, but in the current in the now in this era, women were more involved in the decision makings of how to do business in the family and all that, sir. So it's different compared to the traditional, sir.
Okay, LIANGOUSANG,
Yes, sir.
you tell me what is happening in Myanmar? What is the latest position in Myanmar?
Sir, the latest is election is going on.
Elections are already
Election is
over.
and
How many phases?
sir, it's 3 phases.
Yeah, 3 phases.
So the junta, military junta, supported party is winning. So the process is
So do you think it is just a eyewash? There was no fair elections in Myanmar?
Sir, it's more of, yes, it's more of a IAS and more of a kind of legitimizing their position, military trying to legitimize their position. But on the other hand, we also need to see how even in this kind of situation, the military is proposing a kind of
India's relations, how India's relations with the Myanmar nowadays?
Sir, is more neutral. India is both engaging with the junta as well as the various parties. So India is playing a role.
What is the status of FMR?
Sir, FMR is presently is the Ministry of Home Affairs has banned the FMR system.
No, but it is there. They have reduced.
They reduce.
From what was the earlier one?
The earlier one is till 16 kilometer. We can enter both sides of the boundary. Sir, now I don't know the exact. No, okay, sir.
Okay, you tell me, how do you see the US attack on Venezuela? They taking away the president of the country. How do you foresee it?
Sir, I think it's in one way it's against the international law, against especially the UN Charter, because they were attacking one sovereign country in that sense. For example, if US come and attack our president or prime minister, so it's attacking us. So it's a kind of attacking the sovereignty, sir.
Why India did not react in a like Russia, China? They condemned it. India gave a very limited response in that sense. What is your take? Why can't we come out if it is violation of UN Charter and the UN provision? Then we should also come forward and say it is not right.
Yes, sir. Sir, we need to look at the current politics, geopolitics, as well as the current status. For example, even in Ukraine-Russia war, India has been more neutral. So in that sense, staying neutral in the these issues, Venezuela issues, is also, I think, we are following the same strategic autonomy that we are following, sir.
It is strategic autonomy to remain silent.
To remain, not to remain silent, but to have more neutral stance, neutral stand.
For taking standing by the country against which any violation is being done,
Yes, sir.
whether it is Palestine or anything.
Yes,
But in this case, we are silent.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in case of Russia-Ukraine war,
Yes, sir.
do you think Russia is a victim or aggressor?
Sir, it's hard to say whether it's the victim or the
In
aggressor.
your view, what do you,
For
giving
me-
the situation,
The situation compels the Russia to act, because if not, if Ukraine comes under the NATO system, so it will affect their security. So I think I see it more as a defense as well as defense.
so what 3 lessons we should learn from Russia-Ukraine war? India
Sir,
should learn?
The one thing is we need to be self-reliant in our energy or in our own security. Secondly, we need to have good relations with others. For example, Russia has good relations with China, so they were not somehow affected by the sanction and all that. And thirdly, India needs to can learn that when it's affect our internal security as well as our national security, we need to act somehow, not always defensive, but somehow we can do Thank you, sir.
You have passed your masters in sometime in 2014, and now we are already in 2026. So in between, do you have any work experience of which you have not bothered to mention in your DAF?
Ma'am, I continue for my MPhil and PhD integrated. So, but after sometimes I lost interest in that area, so I give out my studies, sir.
So you're pursuing the civil services full time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. But you need a little more, if asked, you need a little more good answer to this. I'm satisfied, but everybody has to be satisfied too. Okay, now Northeast, with keeping Northeast in view, Indian government first had a look east policy, and now they have replaced it with act east policy. I mean, I don't know whether it's a change of words or actually something has happened. Tell me, how is Northeast important? How is the Southeast Asia and the Look East policy important for the Northeast? And what are what has happened on the ground since India has embarked on this Act East?
Ma'am, recently, Chief Minister of Mizoram says that the Kaladan multimodal project will be finished in 2027. So, one of the most important thing is the connection, the international connection between India and the Southeast Asian. So that is one of the most important. Through that, we can increase our trade, economic activities, as well as the people-to-people connectivity as well. And secondly, is one of the most important thing is that through these policies, through this ACIS, there will be more importance for the Northeast, for example, in terms of their exports in their products, for example, handicraft and all that. So I think that will be the most important thing in looking at the Northeast perspective, ma'am.
Okay. In Nepal, there have been the protests led by youngsters, said as Gen Z, and Bangladesh also. The students played a very strong role. Do you think the Northeast also has a potential, the youth in Northeast, because one of the things is they are educated, plus coupled with unemployment, right? I mean, they are not adequately employed. So this kind of a situation, can it lead to some kind of a volatile situation like in Nepal, or what is preventing it?
Ma'am, when we say Northeast, it's not a one group. It's various group, various ethnicities. So it's not like Nepal or Bangladesh where there is one or two sections of. So Northeast is very diverse. So in that sense, the diversity will play a role. And secondly, in Northeast, civil society, especially in the community, society is very strong. So even if the youth want to express some of their wishes or some of their political will, the civil society will play more important role in that sense. So I don't see that kind of violence in Northeast.
So in a very limited way, something of the kind happened in Ladakh, right? What do you think? What do you read the situation in Ladakh as, which led to the arrest of one activist, Sonam Wangchuk?
Ma'am, when we say Ladakh, there is even, it's not only the youth, the political system, especially the Ladakhis, they want to, for the 6th schedule safeguards. So it's not only the youth, it's the population itself that are pursuing for that political will. So I don't see the similarities in the Northeast as well as in the Ladakhi problem.
You don't see similarities, but
Yes.
how do you read the Ladakh situation?
As such, I see it's more of a they're trying to figure it out, their identity, their culture. How can we protect that one? So I see that in that sense.
So arrest of Sonam Wangchuk, is it okay, or would you see that an activist who was actually working for the people of Ladakh and is say for the 6th schedule, how do you read that? because there's been a lot of controversy regarding this.
Ma'am, in the issue we need to look at in different ways. For example, when we look at in terms of his speech, that is because of his speech that he is against the Indian sovereignty, Indian integrity. So in that sense, he is under arrested. So if the speech is violating that the fundamental issues of our national security, I think it's legally enforceable. But on the other hand, expressing his wish, his political will, if it does not violate, so I don't see that that addressing is. Thank you, ma'am.
Your engagement is good, comprehension is good, very good, arguments are fine, and so far as the drawing conclusions is concerned, you have to work on that, because this Manipur and border question, Myanmar and conflict within Manipur, you have to be more forthright on that. Okay?
Yeah, I would say that there is a gap in your DAF, because 2014 you passed your masters and
gap is going to that gap is going to invite questions.
yeah, so it might invite. So you be prepared for a nice cogent answer for that. Okay, I was preparing for civil services. That doesn't make it. You know, you can't be preparing for civil service such a long time. So give a good answer for that. And when you express your opinion, you can be a little more categorical. You don't have to go roundabout. If you felt Sonam Wangchuk arrest has not, it's been counterproductive to this Ladakh, say that. Say that, because it's your opinion. You're not yet a civil servant. Okay, you're not sitting in front of the press and giving an official position. It's your opinion we asked. Okay, so that part, that's it.
See, good thing is you're connected to the ground. You know the ground situation. You understand it, you articulate it well. Just conclude, and wherever required, take a stand.
And even on Manipur, because Manipur itself is a very controversial.
And for example, this empowerment and tribal traditions, on that you ought to explain it more, that how this present empowerment is different from the empowerment inbuilt in tribal traditions. So those clarifications are required. Huh?
Similarly, on issues of like India's stand on in case of Venezuela,
Yeah, that's right. That's very
you should also think that we should be categorical, take a stand on that issue. We are very keeping mum actually.